The Lord's will be done. So I'm sure you've heard that sometimes from a well-meaning friend when you're going through a tough time, and it's meant to redirect your thoughts. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it might just tick you off a little bit. So 30 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And certainly I wasn't looking at the Lord's will being done on any level. I was going to control this situation and make sure that he stuck around for a good long while. Eventually, he was accepted into an experimental trial. And I knew exactly where that was heading and what that meant. And that was going to extend his life. And so he went through the trial, but his body reacted to the treatments in such a way that we couldn't go to that next step. We couldn't have the surgery done that was going to remove the remainder of the tumor. At the same time, it was going to remove much of his digestive system. So it would have been life-altering. But from everything we knew, it was his best chance at surviving. And so they told us that we had a window, and it was, I believe, 3 months. So if the situation resolved within 3 months, then they could do the surgery. Otherwise, they couldn't. And it didn't resolve, and the window closed. So at some point, I said, hey, let's check out this healing mass. I didn't go there expecting a miracle. I knew there was going to be benefit to the prayer. And so we went. Now, a couple days later, the situation did resolve, like an overnight type of resolution. So miraculous. However, we were still too late as far as the scar tissue and the radical surgery. But he lived for 6 years to the day of his diagnosis after being given 3 to 6 months. What I realized pretty quickly was that it was the Lord's will that was done, not mine. My little flow chart that got interrupted wouldn't have been the best thing for my dad. His quality of life really didn't diminish up until a couple months before he passed, and there were changes. But prior to that, everything was pretty much normal. So it doesn't take me very long to remember that and to realize that truly God's plan is the best plan. And even with my controlling nature, it's easier for me to let go now with that history. And so hopefully that helps you in your daily life and in maybe letting go and letting God. It's really not a bad plan. So until next time, God bless.